Get ready for the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's dedicated update show. Events, businesses, and people. Anything and anyone causing a ripple in the community. And now, let's dive in to the Splash Live.
Good morning and welcome to the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dayan Chaaban. You can always find us each and every morning on a number of different stations all throughout the local area, on Comcast Channel 15 and on AT&T Channel 99 on your cable television stations. Find us online anywhere across the community, whether or not you have cable, on CivicCenterTV.com on our Watch Live page. View us also on Facebook, Facebook.com/Civic Center TV 15, and on YouTube at Civic Center TV. In addition, as you're driving into work this morning or going throughout the community, dropping your kids off at camp, running errands today, we're always on 89.3 Lakes FM and on LakesFM.com as well. 8:30 a.m. Monday through Fridays when we begin our live shows. Those run till about 12:30 in the afternoon, followed by the best of the Splash Live, some of our best interviews from recent shows about things still making news each and every day in our local community. All that can be found as well, CivicCenterTV.com for our schedule. Dayan, happy Monday morning to you.
Happy Monday morning to you and everybody watching us, Tyler. I hope it's a good start to their week. We had a little bit of rain yesterday and over the weekend. It looks like it's going to get better this week. We do have still slight of chances of rain, but it's not as much as yesterday for today. So we're going to expect highs of 69 and lows of 58. As we go through Tuesday, it's also going to be partly cloudy with the highs of 82, a little bit of higher temperature on Tuesdays and Wednesdays with the highs of 82 and 83 and lows of 61 and 65. Still a very nice weather. Kind of chilly towards the night. I don't know about everybody else, but it's a nice walking weather nevertheless.
And you know what? One less day you got to be running your air conditioning perhaps today with the clouds, with the cooler temperatures, a little bit of relief on your DTE bill as well. But that's going to be short-lived with the 80s coming back on Tuesday and throughout most of the week. Taking a look now at what's going on all across the community this morning. Keego Harbor the fireworks lit the Keego sky on Friday night. We'll take a look at some of the pictures from that event later on in the program. Good times also out on the water over the weekend in Sylvan Lake for their annual event, the Sylvan Splash. Michigan's second largest airport brought hundreds out to its air show over the weekend. We'll take a look at some of the events on site at Oakland County International Airport. Then later on in the show, the West Bloomfield High School robotics team joins the program to talk about their upcoming car show happening this weekend right here in West Bloomfield. In addition, West Bloomfield teachers volunteer for a book club to help them become better educators for their students of color. In addition, we'll take a look at your kids' summer bucket list. Let's take a look at that. We'll take a look at that and check off some things from that list and maybe add some to your list in the final few weeks of the summer. Then the West Bloomfield Police Department and West Bloomfield Parks are teaming up for a women's self-defense class later on this month. We'll give you the details on that and how you can sign up. Plus, OAA Media Day was on Friday, kicking off the OAA football season. We got a chance to take a look at all 22 teams in the league, including your West Bloomfield Lakers, and we'll hear from them later on in the show. Plus, another I-696 ramp is closing in Oakland County. Dayan Chaaban will have details on that, as well as fun upcoming events all throughout Oakland County and in Hazel Park, where a new program has been launched to provide elementary school students with more opportunities to participate in sports. We'll learn about all of that and more coming up in just a few minutes on today's edition of the Splash Live.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Watch Civic Center TV with our brand new live captions. To turn on live captions, go to CivicCenterTV.com and click Watch Live. In your web browser, click on the Options tab in the top right and find the Accessibilities tab. Then just switch on live captions to heighten your enjoyment of our local programming. Thank you so much for watching Civic Center TV.
Many people are feeling overwhelmed and struggling with mental wellness these days. So be kind to your mind. Give yourself permission to breathe. Share your feelings. You are not alone. Have hope. Talk to a Stay Well counselor for free confidential help 24/7 through the COVID-19 hotline.
And now, back to the Splash, live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dayan Chaaban. A lot of fun over the weekend, kicked off on Friday with the Keego Harbor fireworks over Cass Lake. Actually, the Independence Day fireworks in Keego Harbor happening a little bit later than was expected due to weather conditions a month ago. But it did happen on Friday night, a beautiful Friday night after a little bit of rain. Didn't stop the fireworks from happening over Cass Lake. Take a look at some of these pictures from across the community. A beautiful fireworks show on Cass Lake on Friday night, and not too far away, another one that happened over Orchard Lake. So a lot of these fireworks shows happening a little bit later than expected, but still going on Cass Lake and on Orchard Lake in the Tri-Cities area of our community. These fireworks on Cass Lake and Keego Harbor are unique in their own way, given that they are completely driven and ran and organized by residents of Keego Harbor. They had started this effort several years ago, and it's been ongoing, an annual tradition. It's now become on Independence Day weekend on the 4th of July here in the Greater West Bloomfield community, and completely organized by these residents. Donations are accepted, sponsorships are accepted that help to put together this professional fireworks show that they are bringing in, that they're hiring in to fire off these exciting fireworks over Cass Lake each and every summer. You can participate in that each and every year. Cass Lake Fireworks INC at gmail.com is the email address that you can send a message to in order to get yourself some information on how to participate and how to help them out with donations for years to come. Cass Lake Fireworks INC at gmail.com is also their PayPal account, and those proceeds do go toward funding these particular fireworks. Diana, a really great way to start a weekend with a beautiful day on Friday and then a beautiful evening after dusk when these fireworks lit up the skies.
Indeed, Tyler. And how awesome is it that you get to celebrate Independence Day twice, the July 4th and August 4th? It's just incredible. I also think this is a great way to bring the community together, not only working on the event, but also getting them together to watch this event. I bet there was a lot of people on the lakes, sitting all together, watching this, because it must have been an amazing experience, definitely.
Yeah, plenty of more pictures on Facebook if you go into the So Keego group, where you have friends and others that live in the Keego Harbor area. So many people posting pictures from these fireworks, and same goes for those that happened in Orchard Lake. So definitely head over to Facebook if you missed the fireworks show and you'd like to see some of those pictures. Also, some fun happening over the weekend on the water in Sylvan Lake. It was their annual Sylvan Splash event, bringing residents out on their boats and into the water. Look at this gathering. It looks like Cass Lake on Independence Day weekend. Maybe a little less rowdy from what the descriptions were on Facebook of this event over the weekend, but residents in the prettiest little city in Michigan, getting on their boats, getting in the water on Sylvan Lake, getting to know their neighbors, and having fun in the sun at this annual Sylvan Splash event. Great to see these smiling faces and a lot of people getting out on the lakes together over the weekend in Sylvan Lake, and plenty more fun and events always happening in Sylvan Lake. Highly suggest you go to their website, sylvanlake.org, for a list of events happening every single week. Game nights, yoga, pickleball, volleyball, and more, all happening at the community center and throughout the community. We also talk often about their Syl Sunsets concert series. So plenty to do in Sylvan Lake each and every day, and that includes sometimes over the summer, over the weekends, their annual Sylvan Splash event happening over the weekend. A lot of fun, it looked like, in Sylvan Lake. Also a lot of fun in Waterford over the weekend at Michigan's second busiest airport. That is Oakland County International Airport, where they had an air show on Sunday that brought hundreds out to our local airport to take a look at airplanes, old and new, military and civilian, and get a chance to even take a seat in some of these as well. Look at all these pictures. Got some just commuter aircraft and general aircraft on site at this airport, the second busiest in the state behind Detroit Metropolitan Airport. A lot of volunteers went into making this event happen at the airport. I'm sure plenty got a chance to take a look at and maybe even fly onto that new runway. Here's a helicopter overhead, many different planes and other aircraft flying over and around the international airport. And look at this, a jet and hundreds of people, it looks like, checking out the airport, checking out these different aircraft, and hanging out at the Oakland County International Airport, a place that, look, you may not think it's that busy. It's the second busiest in the state. That may be surprising. Here's the metrics: 142,535 takeoffs and landings happened at Oakland County International Airport. Not one of them was done by Oakland County Executive Dave Coulter, who you're seeing here, taking a picture in the cockpit of one of those airplanes. But certainly a lot of pride from the executive of our county toward this airport, which contributes more than $1 billion to the local economy each and every year. And airport users pay for 100% of airport operations. So your tax dollars not really doing a lot to fix the legwork of the Oakland County International Airport. It is 100% paid for by users of the airport, and there are a lot of people that are going through Oakland County International Airport each and every day. And great to see a lot of people having gone out there over the weekend, Dayan, for a fun event, looking at some history and taking a look at one of our economic drivers here in Oakland County.
Yeah, Tyler, and I've been in Oakland County for almost 3 years now, and I never knew we had an airport because we always use DTW, I mean, especially for international flights or even national flights. So it's an incredible way to introduce this airport to people in our community, like even new people in our community, show them how beautiful this area is, how diverse it is, the economy it has. It's a huge economy, having an airport in your county that also brings in a lot of money. So that's incredible. Apart from the fact that planes or aircrafts are actually fascinating. So to get an up close look and just like sit in these cockpits of these different kinds of aircrafts is just an amazing opportunity. I hope everybody enjoyed it.
Yeah, as a kid growing up in Oakland County, whenever we would drive by the Oakland County Airport, I'd take a look out the window to see if the Detroit Pistons plane at the time, Round Ball 1, was on site over there. That one of the first NBA basketball teams to have their own private jet, and it often flew in to Oakland County International Airport, of course, with the Pistons having previously played and been based in Pontiac at the Silverdome, and then at the Palace of Auburn Hills in Auburn Hills, and now, of course, downtown in Detroit, in the district Detroit at Little Caesars Arena and their facilities in the downtown area. But still, Oakland County International Airport, a big place for business happening right here in Oakland County, and congratulations to them on another successful air show. Hope to see more of those in the near future. We'll take a break on the Splash Live. On the other side, we'll go from the air to back here on the ground with classic cars, hot rods, exotic cars, and more coming to West Bloomfield High School this weekend, and all in support of their robotics team. We'll have a couple of members of the team from the West Bloomfield High School Atomigators joining us next on the Splash Live.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important.
And now the same is true in the face of flu.
Influenza has the power to infect millions.
But it's easy to protect yourself, your family, and your community.
The flu vaccine is safe and effective. And with COVID-19 still around,
It's essential. Together we can face flu season head on.
Visit michigan.gov/flu.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
1 in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy. And if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
And now, back to the Splash, live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dayan Chaaban. We talk all the time about really impressive teams on the football field, on the soccer field, on the basketball court, and across all sports at West Bloomfield High School. But arguably one of the most impressive teams at the high school in our local community is their robotics team, and they have a very exciting event coming up this weekend at West Bloomfield High School for all you car lovers that are getting a little bit excited before the Woodward Dream Cruise season. A perfect opportunity this weekend on August 13th, 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. in the parking lot at West Bloomfield High School. Joining us now on the program are a couple of individuals from the robotics team, Dr. Alicia Mindlin, as well as Khatab Alkhashali on today's program. Thank you both for being with us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, glad to have you on. I want to start with you, Khatab. Tell us about the WBHS Atomigators team. Because when I think about the robotics team, for some reason, and maybe it's just my wacky mind that does it, the first thing I think about is those old BattleBots shows where teams build robots that are essentially fighting each other in a ring. But there's so much more that goes into these robotics teams. Tell us about everything that you guys do.
Oh, no, it's more than that. It's as exciting as the BattleBots. It's just each season is composed of a game, and we build our robot according to the game. So we compete against other teams, and we just make it happen.
And so what goes into the whole process of devising these robots, understanding the game that you're going to be participating in, and then going into the design, the testing, and the execution of making the perfect robot to play that game?
So, of course, it takes a lot of kids. We have a lot of sub-teams. We have business, build, coding, and, of course, design. We start off by the design. The design kids get the robot ready. We read the instructions, make sure everything is good, and then the build team starts building the actual robot.
And this is really impressive stuff, Dr. Mindlin. I want to bring you in as one of the adult leaders of this team, and that's helping this team out on a year-to-year basis. So, just how hard are these kids working to take the tasks that are in front of them, work together as a team, and ultimately work a robot that's going to do some really incredible stuff, all from the high school level?
Well, this is my first year actually being with the high school. So from elementary and middle school, I've been there 6 years now. So, but last year I got to start working with the high schoolers, and it's a lot. It's almost like a full-time job, between, coordinating schedules, and then, like Khatab said, we have a lot of subgroups. And so getting them to talk to one another, this is done all after school as well. So it's a big time commitment. Like you said about sports, this is kind of like our sport, right? Like we've got we might be in there for an hour, we might be in there for 5 hours. So it is time intensive, especially when we get down to the wire, but right before competition, it's kind of a little madhouse in the lab, so to speak.
And Dr. Mindlin, with all the emphasis that has been put on STEM education in recent years, and we know from the West Bloomfield School District, STEAM education, they add an A to that: science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. Now, how does this help in executing what these kids are learning in the classroom, out in real-world situations, while also bringing in those other real-world qualities like working as a team, effective communication, time management, and so on?
Well, I think it ties it in beautifully. Like Khatab said, I help with the business. And so you have to learn about time management. And then we get together working in subgroups as far as advertisement goes. We've looked at what do we have to outsource? Who do we outsource? Fundraising, being in the part of the community, getting the community involved. So, there's that business aspect of it. The arts, obviously, creativity. When you think of robots, you really don't think of arts. You really think of building, right? Engineering. But there is an art to it, right? Like you have to have the design and that kind of thing. And then, working together as a team, math. That's not my strong suit, so you have to ask somebody else, because I'm not an engineer by any means. But I think it's all encompassing, and it really is all part of this team. It's funny though that you say that, because this year that's what our theme is for the robotics. It's STEAM. So it is the arts. It's giving credit and acknowledgement to all of it as a diverse group.
And Khatab, going back to you, I'm not too far removed from high school. I know 10 years or so removed from high school, but I know from back then, working in a group project was tough then, and in a small group, but working in a group of this size, and what sort of challenges does that present to you and to your fellow students, and how do you often go about that as a team, tackling those challenges and ultimately coming through in a big way with these robots?
Oh yeah, I know. It's a lot of team building exercises that we do. Of course, the coaches help out as well if there's any issues. But at the end of the day, we all like doing it. We like robotics. We enjoy being in that lab, and we just make it happen.
And in terms of your interest in robotics, how did you get involved with this team?
So I joined 10th grade. Right now I'm a senior. I'm finishing my last year of high school. I joined just because I like the engineering program. I want to be an engineer. So that's what attracted me to it. And I made friends on the team, so that's what's been keeping me on the team.
And going back to what I was talking with Dr. Mindlin about earlier on, Khatab, applying what you're learning in the classroom, those STEAM elements that you're learning day in and day out as you're going to class and doing your homework, taking your tests, and so on. Have you found this to be a way to not only take that education and apply it to something, but actually build on that and become more advanced by doing?
Oh yeah. I mean, the class, that's where you sit down, take notes. But robotics, that's where you get to do the stuff, I've We've learned a lot of stuff, especially on design. We've been using Onshape, AutoCAD, stuff like that. And it's just been helping me out, making me just comfortable with it when I leave high school and start my job.
Joining us on the program today is Khatab Alkhashali from the West Bloomfield High School Atomigators robotics team, as well as Dr. Alicia Mindlin, one of the adult supervisors of the team as well. They got a really exciting event coming up this weekend, August 13th. That is Sunday, 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at West Bloomfield High School. They're going to have a car show there. You can bring your classic cars, your hot rods, your exotic vehicles, your sports cars, and so on. Really, any vehicle is welcome to come out to this event over the weekend. It all begins at 8:30 with the parking, the event at 9 o'clock, judging and awards between 11:30 and 12 noon. Khatab, tell us about this event and really from an organizational standpoint, why a car show to bring people in and fundraise for the robotics team?
So Alicia brought us this idea and we loved it. West Bloomfield has never had a car show and we said, why not? Let's do it. And it's going to be a great event for the community. It's going to bring in a lot of attention to our team, and we're just going to have fun and do it.
And Alicia, from what Khatab said, you bringing in this idea and having it on August 13th, so close to the Woodward Dream Cruise, I would imagine that was something very much done on purpose to generate interest, given the season that we're in, and also to bring a lot more eyes onto the West Bloomfield High School robotics team.
Oh yeah, there was definitely no picking the date was either before the Dream Cruise. We thought after the Dream Cruise, not really. But the car scene I've been a part of for a very long time. So Roadkill is that weekend as well. So there are going to be a lot of eyes and a lot of vehicles here. And so I thought, why not? We also, you brought about fundraising. Like, it is not inexpensive sport, and we look to get money where we can, and people are very generous. And we figure, well, robotics, cars, let's put it together. Like Khatab said, West Bloomfield, to our knowledge, has never had a huge car show ever, which is really crazy because Orchard Lake and it is a crazy street anyway, but if you look all around, you see all sorts of different cars. And so we hope to have that be successful and an annual event.
Yeah, also awards being handed out too at this event to cars participating. So if cars want to participate in the judging, they want to be there, they want to have their car judged, how can they go about doing that and maybe even bring home the hardware on Sunday?
Well, there's two ways. Well, one is like right now up until Sunday morning, it's $15, and we have a CRL code. You can find it on Facebook events. You can find it on a lot of the event page, and you can either Venmo me or you can email me. And my email is very, very simple. It's aliciamindlin@gmail.com. And then you're registered. And then we have like a judging sheet, and you can fill that out. And then we'll have our judges walk around the day of the event, and hopefully we're the one with the most votes. We have, I think, 10 different awards. So there's a lot there, from classics to modern mods. We didn't limit it to cars because we're an eclectic group. So we have motorcycles, trucks, you name it. Right now we have a 71 Carmen Ghia. We have, I believe, a 68 Barracuda. And we even have a Packard, which I believe is a 46, if I'm not mistaken. So we're
a lot of impressive vehicles already. Yeah, a lot of impressive vehicles already getting ready to head out to the event. Again, $15 to pre-register, $20 on the day of the event. You can also learn more information about the car show as well as get in contact with the West Bloomfield Atomigators robotics team on their website, wbhsrobotics.com. That's right. Not only are they building robots, they're also coding websites. What are these kids doing? They're surpassing us every single day. It's incredibly impressive. And so, Khatab, if students, you said you joined in 10th grade, if students at West Bloomfield High School want to get involved in this, want to apply their education, have a lot of fun, and build those life skills, how can they get involved with the team?
Walk in. That's all we ask. Walk in and we'll get you situated. Go into classroom 505 and we can get you situated and welcome you with open arms.
A welcoming group and an exciting group doing some incredible things right here in the West Bloomfield community. Khatab, Dr. Mindlin, thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you for having us. We hope to see you on the 13th.
Yeah, we'll be glad to see you out there. August 13th, that is this week, Sunday, 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Get there early with your cars. It begins, parking begins at 8:30 a.m. You can pre-register before the event, save $5, $15 tickets, or drive up on the day of the event. Again, parking begins at 8:30 a.m. $20 on the day of the event. Concessions will be available on site for cash only. Music also there, and plenty of cars with judging of these cars for 10 awards beginning at 11:30, and the awards being handed out beginning at 12 noon before it all wraps up at 12:30. And best thing about it, you're supporting our kids right here in West Bloomfield doing amazing things each and every day. August 13th, Sunday, 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., the first annual West Bloomfield High School Robotics Car Show happening on site in the parking lot at West Bloomfield High School. We'll take a break on the Splash Live. On the other side, taking a look at our educators bettering their ability to educate our students of color in the classroom. Plus, we'll take a look at your kids' summer bucket list. How many of these different events and places and activities have you checked off this summer? Or maybe you want to put on your list as the weeks roll by and we get closer and closer to the end of the summer and the beginning of the school year. That's coming up next. Stay tuned. You're watching and listening to the Splash Live.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
When you have a gambling problem, you have a money problem. Don't let your gambling cause you financial hardship. If you or someone you love is struggling with gambling, we can help. Get free confidential counseling and win your life back. Learn more at michigan.gov/problemgambling.
Watch Civic Center TV with our brand new live captions. To turn on live captions, go to civiccentertv.com and click Watch Live. In your web browser, click on the Options tab in the top right and find the Accessibilities tab. Then just switch on live captions to heighten your enjoyment of our local programming. Thank you so much for watching Civic Center TV.
Wondering what to say to someone who's been sexually assaulted or abused?
I believe you. I'm so sorry this happened.
It's not your fault.
Confidential and anonymous help is available at the Michigan Sexual Assault Hotline. Connect with us 24/7. Call 855-VOICES-4 or text 1-866-238-1454 for help. Learn more at michigan.gov/voices4.
And now, back to the Splash Live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live. This is Dayan Chaaban alongside Tyler Kieft. So an amazing initiative that the teachers and educators of West Bloomfield District is taking. These teachers are getting together on a book club to cultivate, to engage in a program that is designed by a renowned author, Goldie Muhammad, and the program is called An Equity Framework for Culturally and Historically Responsive Literacy. So this program, it's delves into the book's guidance, aiming to provide targeted support for students of color. So these teachers, as you can see, Sonia James, who is the Executive Director of Educational Equity and Inclusion in West Bloomfield Schools District, she is right there. So this program is bringing these educators together to help support these students of colors. It's called Cultivating Genius, and it's proving to be valuable in different school districts. It provides resources for these educators and helpful tools, including self-reflective questions and recommendations for using culturally responsive text. I think this is an amazing initiative, Tyler, that brings these teachers together and educators, gives them these resources, allows them to know what previous curriculums have done wrong, to foster and cultivate this cultural awareness and diverse awareness.
Yeah, and you know, there's been a lot of controversy surrounding these sort of programs in other districts and other states throughout the country, with arguments being made that, you know, it's too targeted at certain groups and it's being done at the expense of other groups. But in reality, this is about eliminating those disparities in education amongst different cultural groups that happens not intentionally in our school districts, but happens in our school districts. It's a real world issue, and these are real world solutions. So good to see them, especially in West Bloomfield, where there is such a large mixture of cultures, of ethnicities, of religious backgrounds, even within families, with some being first generation here in West Bloomfield, some being families that have just moved in from international locations. Oakland County is a hotbed for families moving in from countries in Europe and in the Middle East and in Asia and all throughout the world, coming into our communities and learning in our classrooms, and having these different methods for our educators being learned and being taught between them only benefits all of the kids in our classrooms. And, you know, I would presume also leads to more intensive conversations on the subject matter in the classroom too, which benefits students of all different backgrounds. Diane.
Yeah, that is true, Tyler. It also benefits even if these students are not targeted. So they're not actually targeting a certain set of students. They're just trying, as you said, to eliminate the disparities between these students. It also brings cultural awareness for other students that have been here, and not just for the new students who are being targeted. So it also brings these cultural awareness. It's also very nice to learn about different cultures, being culturally inclusive. I think it's a win-win for all the students and for the teachers as well.
Yeah, I don't know when inclusivity or inclusion became some pervasive word in our communities, but it's always been a positive in my book. This can only do good things for our kids in our classrooms, and therefore for the future of our community. So some good news out of the West Bloomfield School District. And while we're a couple weeks away from the beginning of the school year, it's time to take a look back at your kids' summer bucket list. Really interesting post on Facebook over the weekend from Michigan Mom of One, who posted this kids' summer bucket list in Oakland County. 15 different places are marked on this particular form that was posted, this image that was posted on Facebook, including some locations right here in the greater West Bloomfield community. You can see on there, number 5, the Bauer School Farm in the Bloomfield Hills School District over on Updike, Booth Park, and our neighbors in Birmingham, the Detroit Zoo, Tree Runner Adventure Park, and Lily Pad Springs, both right here in West Bloomfield at number 10 and number 11. Very fun places in our community. So take a look at this bucket list. Pause if you're watching online on CivicCenterTV.com, on Facebook, on YouTube. Maybe check off this list and tell us at Civic Center TV on our social media, Civic Center TV 15 on Facebook, Civic Center TV on Twitter. Tell us how many of these you've checked off, or how many of these you have on your calendar for the rest of the year. And Diane, just a little exercise between the two of us here in our studio locations. How many of these have you checked off? Just taking a brief look at this list.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think the Detroit Zoo was one of the only things I checked off. But it's pretty cool. We have all these places, and no matter how much I try over the weekend to go into all these amazing places all over our county, you just can, it takes more than a year, literally. It takes a lot of time because there's all these awesome places and all these awesome events. You can never do everything. So it's just incredible. I think I'm gonna visit one of these places, probably, but the Detroit Zoo is definitely a must, even though I'm older, but I definitely enjoyed
this summer, 0. For this summer, 0 on this list. In the past, wherever I've gone, Red Oaks Water Park, I was a camp counselor, went there then. Bauer School Farm, that's a wash. I was in the the Bloomfield Hills School District growing up, and so plenty of field trips and activities there, including in my senior year. Took a class at the farm over there. Booth Park in Birmingham, been there a few times. The Detroit Zoo, Treat Runner Adventure Park, Lily Pad Springs. We've been there with our team at Civic Center TV a number of times. And, funny enough, I've never been to the Troy Gymnastics Munchkins rope course in Troy. Maybe one of the reasons because it would seem from this title it's intended for children. And spoiler alert, I'm not one. But, funny enough, our Michigan Digital, the company we work for, contracted in, runs the day-to-day operations here at Civic Center TV, right down the street. Their office is right down the street from Troy Gymnastics over there. So 15 different items on this list. Maybe you've checked off a couple of them. Maybe you're like me and you're no fun and you've checked none of them off, but still plenty of time before the end of the school year. So check that out again. That's from Facebook, Michigan Mom of One, and you can also see it on demand, civiccentertv.com, all throughout the day. Across the community at the West Bloomfield Police Department and the Recreation Activities Center, the police and the West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation are teaming up for a women's self-defense class. That's going to be happening on August 16th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. The 16th is next week, Wednesday. Registration is already underway for residents for $5, and beginning on Friday, non-residents can also register for just $7. And it's going to be a great class. Master Floyd Sue is a 7th degree black belt in Tong Soo Do. Has over 60 years of training in this particular martial art and across the martial arts, and 50 years of teaching. Going to be there teaching women in our community the triple A's of self-defense: awareness, avoidance, and action. All important things to know as you're going throughout our communities today, especially with the dangers that are out there every single day. 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Recreation Activity Center in West Bloomfield next week, Wednesday, August 16th. And more information can be found on wbparks.org. You can get involved in the class, women in your life, let them know about it, and even on this form that you're seeing on your screen here on civiccentertv.com, on our Facebook and our YouTube page for our video on demand. If you highlight on your phone, you scan that QR code in the top right of that form, that'll also take you directly to the registration, or go through the event calendar on wbparks.org from our friends at West Bloomfield Parks. And this is going to be at the Recreation Activity Center. It's easy to find. You go over to the Town Hall complex as you're pulling in. First parking lot on the left. That building right there is the Recreation Activity Center. It's just across the street from the police department and right next door to the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. So very easy to find, a very friendly team over there at the West Bloomfield Police Foundation and at the West Bloomfield Parks Department as well. So definitely want to put that on your calendars. $5 for residents. Registration currently open. $7 for non-residents, and that opens up on Friday, the 11th of this week. We'll take a break on the Splash Live. On the other side, a very exciting day on Friday afternoon in Rochester, as Matt Catoni and I were out there for OAA Football Media Day. We'll take a look at what happened on site that day and getting introduced to all 22 teams playing high school football here in the Oakland Activities Association. And we'll hear from both West Bloomfield High School head coach Zach Hilbers and cornerback Jameer Benjamin after this break on the Splash Live.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiver.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think. You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you wanna talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad. Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
And now, back to the Splash, live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dayan Chaaban. We had a great day on Friday at Rochester High School across the community here in Oakland County for OAA Football Media Day, introducing ourselves to all 22 football teams in the Oakland Activities Association across all 4 divisions. Of course, West Bloomfield in the red division. You're seeing Clarkston on your screen there, also in our division in the red. Rochester Adams Highlanders also on site. Head coach Tony Petrito, Brady Prescorn on the right there, a star heading to Michigan. And we heard from a legend, John Harrington, longtime football coach at Farmington Hills Harrison, a Michigan Sports Hall of Famer. The keynote address there on Friday. And of course, your West Bloomfield Lakers, there's new head coach Zach Hilbers alongside 3 of West Bloomfield's star defensive players, as well as one of their coaches, and also talked to individuals from Lake Orion and from other schools all throughout the OAA Red Division, getting a preview of this year's teams and this year's football season. There's Birmingham Groves. That will be the second team West Bloomfield sees, their first OAA matchup. It's a crossover game between the red and the white in week number 2 of the season. We had full special coverage out there on Friday afternoon. You get to hear from all 22 teams across the OAA, across all 4 divisions, get introductions to them and their players. And we also talked to coaches and players from across the OAA Red, including your West Bloomfield Lakers. You can see the full presentation of that on demand. It's already available on CivicCenterTV.com as well as on our YouTube. But let's take a look at a great conversation between brand new head coach Zach Hilbers, been with this team for well over a decade, a West Bloomfield High School graduate, taking over for Tyrese Grice, who retired from the helm after last season, and talking with our new color commentator, Matt Catoni. Let's take a look at his conversation with Coach Hilbers.
I'm here with head coach Zach Hilbers of your West Bloomfield Lakers. This is your first year as head coach of the Lakers. How do you plan on setting the tone in your first year with the Lakers?
I really hope to just kind of continue the tone that's kind of been laid down. Like we'd like to think at least that we got like a good standard and good expectations for the program, and we really just lean on our seniors that have been here a long time to help us continue, I guess, that level of expectation that we have out. So I guess it could be setting the tone, or I guess it's reestablishing the tone that's already been there.
And you mentioned having seniors to rely on. How is it having guys like Brandon Davis-Swain and Jameer Benjamin to lead a star-studded defense of guys that are going on to play in the next level?
Yeah, I mean, if you could pick, one part of football to have the experience and to be able to rely on, wouldn't you pick, a great experienced defense? And that's what we're lucky enough to have. And, I mean, they're really good kids. I don't let that get lost. And you watch them on the football field, and Brandon's so physically gifted and so big and strong. But, man, is he he's a good kid. And Jameer and Kari and Montel Johnson and Bryce Rowe and all these guys, man, they're good kids, and they buy into what we're doing, and it makes me really fortunate, and our coaches I know really fortunate, because we got some guys on offense that might be talented, but they're young and they haven't really played. And we're going to have to there's going to be some growing pains there. We got to make sure that our defense is up to the challenge of, letting us kind of catch up.
And you mentioned the young players on offense. Is there any chance, he played tight end a little bit last year, is there any chance that we see Brandon Davis-Swain get in there a little bit at tight end this year to sort of ease the load on the younger guys on offense?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, when it comes down to it, he's just an outstanding football player. And, especially in high school, you got to put your best players on the field, and he's obviously one of them. So he'll play some tight end, he'll play some H-back, he might even play some wide receiver. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time. Go Lakers, and best of luck this year.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah, that is some breaking news from Friday, that we may see Brandon Davis-Swain on both offense and defense, a little bit of tight end, a little bit of H-back. That means he's going to be in the backfield. So when I say breaking news, I mean breaking your team's defense in the case of Brandon Davis-Swain. He is going to be a problem on the football field. That defense for West Bloomfield is going to be causing problems for a lot of teams. And hey, we look back at some of these great West Bloomfield High School teams of the past several years, including that championship team back in the COVID year in 2020. The hallmark of that team wasn't Donovan Edwards' prolific play on the offensive side of the ball. You could make a strong argument that the thing that put West Bloomfield over the top was an exceptional defense, and West Bloomfield returning the vast majority of its starters on the defensive side of the football. So an exciting season ahead. Good to hear from new head coach Zach Hilbers. Speaking of that defense, that secondary also going to be prolific with Bryce Blaze Rowe back there, as well as UCLA commit Jameer Benjamin, who I had a chance to speak with at Rochester High School, my apologies, on Friday. Let's take a look at my conversation with West Bloomfield senior Jameer Benjamin. Jameer, a big year ahead for the West Bloomfield Lakers. This defense returning 8 starters and the secondary looking to be a strong point this year. How are you as a captain and a member of that secondary helping to set the tone as we head into what's going to be a very competitive season for the Lakers?
I'm feeling real optimistic about this season. You know, obviously you say returning 8 seniors, so I feel like we got a bond on that defensive side of the ball. So I'm just feeling like we're going to have a real productive season on that aspect, and I just want to have more turnovers. That's what I'm trying to enforce as me, Kari, and Brandon, we being the captains on that defense. We just really want to get more turnovers this year.
We know you guys are hungry. We know you want it. You got to get back out there. Disappointing ending to the season, not where you guys thought that season would come to a close. So how are you guys getting yourselves motivated and these other guys coming up on the team and taking leadership roles this season, ready to go from the jump, a tough first game?
Because the way we failed last year and the year before, we're just using that as motivation. So us being seniors, us being the captains, we done been through playoff losses, so we're just using that as motivation to win the chip this year.
And it's a tough schedule, too. Starting off against Chippewa Valley, and then you go on the road to Groves, you play against Stony Creek, and most of your games, you only have 3 home games this season. So looking at that schedule, seeing what's ahead of you, knowing the kind of competition you're going up against in the OAA Red Division, how does that transform the way that you and in the locker room, the leadership of this team addresses every single week, every single practice, and every single film session?
We just got to play our type of football because obviously, we're going to be outnumbered some games. We got our fans coming, but we're going to be away. We only have 3 home games this year, so we just got to play our type of football and not worry about that and just stay as a team because, the players and the fans and the student section, they're going to be talking. So we just got to just stay locked in and we'll just play our game of football.
Just about a week before OAA Football Media Day, Jameer, you were out in Los Angeles, UCLA, a visit with Coach Chip Kelly and company, and ultimately that is the landing spot you're going to go to. So what about UCLA was what you were looking for in your college team, ultimately making that decision to jump over to LA and stay in the Big Ten, though?
I'm an academic kid. I was committed to Stanford and Northwestern. So with everything happening and UCLA coming in, I've had a previous relationship with Coach Norwood. He's the safeties coach there. He was recruiting my brother out of high school, so we already have that relationship. LA is beautiful out there, and it's like when football ends, I'm going to have a UCLA degree, and the networking out there in that LA region, this is like you can't beat that. So when everything happened and when UCLA came in the picture, it was it's kind of hard for us not to book that flight and go down there and check it out. And me and my family, we just feel like I'll succeed and prosper out there. They're coming to the Big Ten, so my family can come to the away games. We're going to play Michigan State, and Iowa in the close game. So it's real. It's a big deal with UCLA, and I'm pretty proud about my decision.
And in terms of your final season here at West Bloomfield High School, for you, you've accomplished so much in your 3 years before this at WB. What's left for you? What are those notches on your goals board for 2023?
My ultimate goal, obviously, I want to stay championship. That's pretty much it. That's the top goal. I haven't achieved that yet. I don't have a ring yet, so I want a ring. As a defense, I want more turnovers. I want my safeties to just go out there and be ball hawks. I want all my other corners to go out there and be ball hawks. I just want more strip fumbles, more sacks. You just want to go out there and just be a nasty defense.
Nastiest defense in the state. That's been the title for West Bloomfield High School before, perhaps again in 2023 with 8 starters returning on the defensive side of the football. Jameer, thank you so much.
All right, thank you for having me.
Yeah, always good news when 2 out of your 3 key linebackers at the second level are returning. In this case, it's Kari Jackson, a senior, as well as Montel Johnson also returning, both Big Ten commits with MJ heading to Rutgers and Kari Jackson heading to Penn State, and a great secondary as well. And on the offensive side, having some weapons also returning. We're going to see Brandon Davis Swain out there. Quarterback Rick Nance will be back and will be healthy to begin the season after the injury bug hit him last season. So an exciting season ahead for the West Bloomfield Lakers. You can see all of our coverage from OAA Football Media Day on our website on demand right now, Civic Center TV. SylvanSplash.com. And, of course, tune in August 24th for our live coverage of the West Bloomfield High School football season kickoff at the Zenith Prep Kickoff Classic versus Clinton Township, Chippewa Valley. We'll take a break on the Splash Live. On the other side, fun upcoming events in the Oakland County community. Plus, another ramp is closing on I-696 at some point this week. We'll get you the details on that from Dayan Chaaban after this break on the Splash Live.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Watch Civic Center TV with our brand new live captions. To turn on live captions, go to civiccentertv.com and click Watch Live. In your web browser, click on the Options tab in the top right and find the Accessibilities tab. Then just switch on live captions to heighten your enjoyment of our local programming. Thank you so much for watching Civic Center TV.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
And now, back to the Splash Live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live. This is Dayan Chaaban alongside Tyler Kieft. So, as a part of the I-696 project, the eastbound wrap to southbound Orchard Lake Road will be closed for rebuilding until early September. If you are traveling down that road, it is advised that you take the designated tour, which involves using southbound M10, which is Northwestern Highway, to southbound US 24 Telegraph Road, then proceeding to northbound on Franklin Road to reach westbound 11 Mile Road and Orchard Lake Road. You can find more information on drivingoakland.org or Michigan Roads, and you can check all these roads before traveling if you are traveling down these roads. Another interesting things happening around our community, a lot of events, as we mentioned earlier last week. So the Youth Career Discovery Camp is happening August 7th, is a 5-day camp. It's starting August 7th today until August 11. It's happening from 9 a.m. till 4 a.m. at Oakland Community College. So this event, it introduces middle school children to technical innovation. It's happening again at the Oakland Community College. You can find more information on Oakland Community College's website. Another interesting event happening is the Seymour Lake Park fireworks, previously scheduled earlier in the summer. They kind of rescheduled it until August 11, this Saturday from 6 to 10 p.m. At Verner Hall, there is some interesting fitness activities. So community Pilates at 7:30 till 8:30, and it's on Monday and Tuesday all through August. Another interesting fitness event is happening at the museum. Yoga instructors at the museum, at the Troy Historic Village, and it's going to be all through August on Tuesdays from 6 to 7. Both very interesting fitness activities. Another amazing activity is the moving and grooving. If you're into dancing more than you are into yoga, then moving and grooving will happen from 10 to 11 a.m. Wednesdays through August 9. Tyler, those are all interesting events, huh?
So much fun that I accidentally cut off my microphone, but tons of fun happening all throughout the community this week. It's going to be a nice week for the most part here and there, and some of these events also being inside. So plenty to mark your calendars for this week in Greater West Bloomfield as well as throughout Oakland County. That is going to do it for today's edition of the Splash Live. As always, you can continue tuning in with us if you're just tuning in, missed part of our show, all the way through 12:30 p.m. today. Every single day, Monday through Friday, 8:30 9:30 a.m. We're live until 9:30 and repeating all the way through 12:30. Then the Best of the Splash live at 12:30 until 1 o'clock. And we're also all throughout the afternoons and the evenings each and every weekday. And you can always find us on demand online on CivicCenterTV.com and on our YouTube page at Civic Center TV. For our entire team, Matt Catoni, Calvin Brown, Dayan Chaaban, I'm Tyler Kieft. Take care of each other. We'll see you very soon right here once again on the Splash Line.